You got me
You
there.
got me there.
Hello. So, as you see, we are joined with a special guest today. You may know her from playing Andre's grandma in Victorious. Do you want to tell us about some of your other projects? You
Oh yeah, I did an appearance on The Shield as a
that you
mother that didn't like the police. Her son was killed, and she was doing an interview with the police. I was in the O.J. Simpson story as a witness
Oh,
on the witness stand. My husband is also an actor. We've done a CVS commercial together. I've done a verbal commercial, International Delight. Um, once I do a project, I just kind of dump it out of my head because I
hmm
have to save space for the new stuff. But I'm on LA Casting. I act under Marilyn Harris. If anyone is interested, I have an IMBD, but I don't maintain it the way I should. But if you really want to see my resume, you can find it. I think it's called Casting Networks, but that's where it is.
How long have you been acting?
I started acting, well, I know for sure 2009, because that's when I booked Victorious. I used to be a legal secretary, then promoted to a litigation
Yeah.
supervisor. My husband, Percy, is an actor, and he asked me for a whole year to sign up with his agent. And I kept telling him, no, I have a job. Just to get him off my back, I signed up with his agent. And on my second audition, I got booked for The Shield, and the director wanted me to have that job. And even though I wasn't SAG, the director said, well, do what you have to do to make her SAG. And I've been blessed. I tell people Jesus is my agent because I end up places that people be like, how she get here? Who is this? Why is she here? I
Yeah.
swear. I
hmm
I was so green on acting. I went to the library. I like to read, and I got a book on acting terms and what acting is and all that. And I've watched Turner Classic Movies all my life. You know how when they go kiss, they go black. You never see the actual thing. You know what I
hmm
mean? That's how I learned my acting, and that's how long I've been doing it.
So you didn't grow up as a theater kid, I guess, or started in
Like
primary
high
school?
school, yeah.
No, I didn't go that route. I didn't take theater in high school. I was an extremely shy kid. I
hmm
back when I was growing up, that they was wearing the big afros and stuff like that. I was so shy. I had the big afro. I had a big scarf I put on it, and then I pull it down like an awning, and I'd walk around like this. Don't talk to me.
Yeah.
It's effective. It works. Serious.
Yeah. Which one's the other?
So,
Did you ever watch any other like Nickelodeon shows?
I used to watch. I saw a couple of episodes of Drake and Josh. And what was the one where the five guys were singers? They were
Big
all
Time
pretty cool.
Rush.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Big
I
Time
love
Rush.
that.
Yes. Yeah.
I like anything with singing and
Yeah, I
dancing. I
love
watch
Big
all
Time
the
Rush
Step
too.
It Up.
Yeah.
Oh well, girl, we connected. We connected.
Yes. I actually went to
Yeah.
one of their concerts in like 2010, I think.
Really? What's
Yes,
that
it was
like?
really good. And Victoria Justice actually opened up for them. She was like their like
Nice.
opener.
Oh, that's nice. They're all connected, with Dan Schneider. All of these
Yeah.
are his shows. So, and I don't know
hmm
where he finds such young talent, but I mean, it happens. But I did really like Big Time Rush. I
Yeah, it's
used to
such a
watch
good
that
show.
just for the singing. So,
hmm
so to go with that, and as you said, like they are all connected, did you ever think about how your character might play a role in other people's stories?
um, not really. I mean, I guess there'd have to be crazy in the formula
Mhm.
somewhere because, you know, Andre's grandma was crazy. They
Yeah.
described her to me as being afraid of air, butterflies, and pancakes. I mean, just basically everything. So I guess if it were to happen, she would have to be crazy, but maybe they could tamp it down a little bit. And because she's
Mhm.
functional. She drives a car, in some of those scenes you hear tires screeching as she leaves. So,
Mhm.
but no, I just go with the flow. I don't think about that stuff.
Was there any like actors or actresses that you still keep in contact with today?
I still keep in touch with the actor that played Robbie, Matt Bennett.
I haven't heard,
Um,
yeah.
he contacted me, I think, last year, and I don't know if you're familiar with his Party 101 events
Yeah,
that he
I
puts
actually went
on.
to that too, yes.
Oh, girl, isn't that wild?
Yeah, it
It's
was
like
so fun.
electric, and everybody
Right.
like singing, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's like,
Yeah, it was
and
so fun.
it, it blew my mind because he asked me if I would come. And I figured, I mean, when people ask me to do things, I figure they want that character. They want to see that crazy.
Hmm.
So my husband Percy and I, we kind of work as a team. And I had Percy kind of pull me out on stage. I didn't want to be there. And then when he let me go, I started running and like, frantic, and everybody was screaming and filming. And I was like, it was wild. I enjoyed it. I did it twice so far, but it's
Oh
a great
wow.
event. I'm glad you
That's so much
experienced it.
fun. Hmm.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
Have
it's
you
so
gone? Have you gone, young man, to any of those?
No, she definitely invited me to the night, but at the time I wasn't old enough to go. I think you have to be
Yeah,
18 to get
yeah,
admitted,
you
and
do
I
have
was
to be 18.
17.
Well, how old are you now?
18.
No excuse.
hopefully he'll come back because we live in Texas. So hopefully he'll come back to
Yeah,
Texas.
hopefully he
Mhm.
will. He's
He
all over
probably
the
will.
world. All
Hmm.
over the world.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
saw he was
amazing.
in, I think he was in the UK.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
everywhere.
it's really cool.
So out of some of his songs that he was DJing, I guess he did do a lot of the ones from Victorious. Do you have a
Hmm.
favorite song from Victorious?
I do. Let's see if you can guess what I'm saying.
Five Fingers to the Face.
Yeah, yeah, I love that song too.
That's it. I love the beat. I love that song. I think it's catchy. I think it's fun. Actually, all
Yes.
their songs are good. It's
Hmm.
that was one of the things I enjoyed the most about that acting job is watching the young people sing and dance and the choreography and all that kind of stuff. It was fun. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, and a lot of people do say that they're going back watching Victorious thinking like, I thought they were doing covers, but no, it's surprising that they were making original songs
Hmm.
for a kids
Hmm.
show.
Yeah, they actually had songwriters and uh, choreographer. I think his name is Lane or something like that.
Oh, like,
I'm old, so forgive me. I may forget what my name is, so it's not a slight to anyone. I just, I only got so much. It's
yeah.
like,
Lane was actually in the show as as the counselor in the show,
yes, he
and he was
was.
also the choreographer. Yeah.
He was. Oh, I got a
Mhm.
grand fan. I got a
Yeah,
grand fan.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Yeah, at the one that he just did, the Party 101, Lane was there, and
Mhm.
and so was Bennett Shear, our production supervisor on
Oh
our
wow.
podcast, Victorious Crazy. He was
Uh-huh.
there. He had tickets, him and his girlfriend was there. And Matt and I have connected, and I mean we're basically friends. And he gave Bennett the experience of his life. He gave him all access backstage pass.
Wow.
He
That's
took
so
him out
cool.
to dinner, and they're sitting at in some restaurant in New York having dinner, and he was like, people were looking at us and coming over asking for autographs. I was like, hey, how did that feel? He's like, oh, that felt so good. It's such a weird. It's weird. It feels good. It's overwhelming. That whole entertainment experience.
Hmm.
You have to stay grounded. You'll find out when your podcast just like goes when people be like, "Oh, aren't you? You got me there. Can I have your autograph?" You know.
Does that happen to you whenever you're out in public?
Um, Usually it starts off with people kind of looking at me like they're afraid of me. So it's
No, I can see that.
because of the character. And,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll kind of creep up a little bit. And the little kids, I love how bold they are. They'll be like, excuse me, can I ask you a question? And I'm like, sure. And they'll be like, are you Andre's grandma? And I'll be like, no. And then oh, then I'll start laughing. I'll be like, yeah, I'm Andre's grandma. And we'll start talking and stuff like that. Children are so precious. I love their boldness. I love how they just come up and ask. But I do get recognized. I was actually at a Universal Soul Circus event, and I was waiting in line with my husband Percy to get some snacks, and a couple of girls in front of us. It was about three of them. They recognized me, and they kept turning around looking at me, and I knew what it was about, but my husband didn't. He's like, "What's wrong with them?" I said, "We're both actors. We got to get used to this kind of thing." So I just asked him, "Are you fans of Victoria's?" And it was like, "Yeah." And I said, "Okay, I am Andre's grandma." They were like about to blow off. I was like. I said, because there's too many kids around here. I said, but I tell you what, I'll buy your snacks if you be quiet. So I bought their snacks, and we got our
Nice.
snacks and we left. And then after we left the area, I heard, guess who I saw?
That's funny.
That is funny, isn't it? It's hard to
Mm-hmm.
keep a secret.
So with you and your husband being together as long as you have, I think about 31 years. That was the last I remember
Yes,
you mentioning it. All right.
yes.
Any advice on that? How you make a marriage last for that long?
My advice is always have respect for your partner, your husband, whoever it is you with. Have respect and demand respect back. If you have a disagreement with your partner, don't get into an argument at the family barbecue. Get home, sit down, talk about it, figure it out. If your good girlfriend since junior high comes and tells you some mess, don't believe her. Talk to him first and find out what's going on, because believe it or not, when people see that you have a good relationship, they want to bust that up, because that very guy that you quit because of what your girlfriend said, you will find next week she's with your man or your ex. I mean, that's just the nature of some people. They just, and then there's some people that just, I don't know, they just want to stir the pot. So I would say, be respectful, communicate, be honest, and have fun. Find out something. If they like basketball, you don't have to like basketball, but you shouldn't moan and groan every time they turn on a sporting game. Go
Right.
go do
Mm-hmm.
something else. Go find something else to do and give them that time, because um sports is like food for some people. Gaming is like food, for some people. And I don't say male or female, because I love sports. Me and my husband, we watch it together. So enjoy it and enjoy it. If you can't find an activity that you can share, don't bash whatever activity that they like just because you're not into it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I
luckily y'all
forgot
both
I
like
forgot
acting.
one. I forgot one. I'm sorry.
Mhm,
You're both 18, right?
mhm.
Lots of sex.
You're
Yeah. Wow. I'm 20, but yeah.
She
Oh wait, you
over
are.
girl.
20. He's 18.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody need to plug it up. You say here's a warning. Explicit. Explicit coming up.
Explicit,
I won't
explicit.
say sex. I'll say lots of love. Be
Okay.
affectionate. Hug each
Mm-hmm.
other. Tell your partner, oh, you look so good today. Let them know that you're still attracted to them. If they look good and they walk by, slap that booty. I mean, it's like, we all want to know that we're wanted and that there's affection. So show it. Sometimes you think about it. You think about how lucky you are and how much you love someone, but you don't express it.
Mm-hmm.
Express it. That's what I say.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Thinking
Um,
about that booty slap, huh? She like,
I'm thinking,
I know.
Sorry, that was funny. Have you been to an Ariana Grande concert?
No, I haven't. But I basically got one from her just about every day working on Victoria. She was always singing.
Singing. I bet,
She
yeah.
was always, I'm sure you've heard that.
Mm-hmm.
Singing was inside of her. It was something almost like breathing. She was always singing. Very
Yeah.
talented. She's a
You can tell
very
she's like a
talented.
natural, yeah.
Yeah, she is, and it's very easy for natural singers. It's very easy, and it just comes out without them even thinking about it. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Did you watch Sam and Cat, like the spin-off show of Victorious?
I'm a really busy person. I think I caught a couple of episodes, but I haven't even seen very many Victorious episodes.
Oh, really?
But yeah, I did see a couple. I thought it was kind of funny. I think they matched him up well.
Uh,
One is aggressive and focused, and the other one's a little flighty and not exactly
mm-hmm.
sure what she wants, but just loves everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
like that pairing.
you said before you got into acting, your previous job title was it had something to do with law, right?
Yeah, I was a legal secretary at a nonprofit law firm,
So did
and
you go to any schooling for that?
high school.
Okay.
I
So right
got
out of high school?
all of my secretarial skills. I typed 136 words a minute, and I took shorthand, which they don't even use anymore. Excuse me, I'm right in front of this light, so I feel hot. So
Mhm.
that's why I keep going like this. I don't have like a twitch or anything. I'll
It's
just
okay.
you know, it's hot, man. Yeah, I got it all. I got my shorthand, my typing, my business correspondence. I went to Washington High School here in Los Angeles. Um, yeah, and those skills carried me through. I have a funny story about my mom asked me what did I want to do with my future. We were too poor to afford college, so she wanted to know, what I was thinking about doing when I got out of high school. And I told her I wanted to make pots. I wanted to take up pottery. So she didn't say what. She didn't respond like that. She brought the classifieds. Back then we had the newspapers. She said, okay, find a job um, making pots. And I couldn't. So she said, so she says, what's your second choice? And I said, I like to read. I like writing short stories. I like anything doing with English. She said, well, maybe you'll be a good secretary or something like that. So look and see if you can find something in that field. And there were lots of jobs. So we went over the curriculum for our high school. Back then, they offered a lot of things that helped you advance if you weren't focused on college, but something that almost like a trade school that would help you be able to be employed. And I picked what they call secretarial science slash business correspondence.
Mhm.
So always had a job. I was
That's
banging
good.
those keys. I was a natural typist. These babies right here. Look at them good. They sustained me. Now I'm gonna let them leave.
So that has me thinking about like so in high school before you were doing all that, did you have any jobs throughout high school?
I used to babysit. I know this sounds kind of sad, but there was a lady that lived a couple of doors down from us. We lived in her apartment that was very sick and she couldn't be left alone. So they hired me. I've always had a lot of compassion for people, especially people that couldn't do for themselves. So um, I would stay with her for so many hours and, we would read or I would read out loud to her. We would watch TV. I would also babysit children. Um, Babysitting, I guess, was the main thing. I never worked at a McDonald's or anything like that. It was more like a people type of a thing that I would do. So yeah, that
Because I
was
feel
my
like there's
job.
always two types of people. There's either those that work like the fast food restaurants or those that work retail slash customer service jobs, like how you
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
So it
yeah,
depends, like, how much do you want to deal with,
With
kind of
people.
thing.
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. You learn a lot about society working like, fast food because people come in and they have all different types of personalities. So you have to learn patience and how to multitask and that kind of thing and have a thick skin because some people aren't very nice. But any job that you could get when you're young is it's a step up. It's a step forward. It's a learning
Mhm.
experience. Even if you hate the job, if you hate it that much, improve yourself, find a way to move on and move up, you know.
Mhm.
And I don't do very many people's podcasts, but I like the name of your podcast. And I like it when somebody's bold and they send me a DM. And yours was very well written. Who wrote that DM? Very well written, young man.
Thank
I loved reading it. I read it a couple times, and I said, I think I'm gonna respond. The only reason I didn't respond right away is because I'm really busy, but I thought it was very well written. So kudos to you.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you for like doing this with us
Mm,
because
yeah.
this means a lot to us.
Oh well, thank you. And now you know. She is a little bit crazy, but not dangerously crazy. So
Yeah, we get
All right. Then let's continue on with these questions. We do have a few left.
okay.
Mm.
Do you have any grandkids of your own?
I have 8 grandkids by
Wow.
one son. I told him I'm going to give you a vasectomy for Christmas. He's on the second marriage, though. He had 4 of the first marriage and 4 of the second marriage.
Okay.
So I have 8 grandkids. They range from age 14 to 23. I'm real close to the 14-year-old and the 17-year-old. They live in Crossville, Tennessee. The others are off living their life. I don't, they don't talk to me, but they're busy or whatever. But I mean, actually, kind of, I know I think weird, but I think that's kind of a good thing because if you're out achieving and learning and living your life, you don't have time to be calling mom, dad, grandma, like, oh, that type of thing. You're,
Mhm.
you're doing
Yeah.
your thing, you're
Mhm.
making your way. So,
Who was the first cast member you met in Victorious?
hmm, I'm taking my mind back. It was Leon Thomas III, Andre. I was his grandma, and I guess it only made sense that they introduced us first to see, um, if we could build some type of chemistry. The only reason I believe I got that part is because we kind of look alike, you know. Seriously, that's what acting is all about. You could
Mm-hmm.
be from Juilliard and studied in college and did all this stuff, but acting is more about vision and you looking like the
Yeah.
the vision that they have. And yeah, it was funny. Yeah, we sat down, we talked a little bit. I asked him what kind of music he liked. And then the next time we met, my husband and I made a cassette of the type of music we like. And he liked it. And we thought, oh, well, that's good. We're glad he kind of liked it. So at least
So
I
with you
think
only
we did.
being in like a scene here or there in Victorious, were you there and did y'all do table reads?
We did do table reads. That's a very good question. The way acting is set up is you get the script, they send you a PDF of the script, so you can look it over. I love to read, so I would read the whole script. I would pay particular attention on the scene before I come into play and the scene afterwards, just so I can get a grasp on what my job is. Um, I wouldn't try to memorize my line, but I would be familiar with it, which is like 2 different things. Then we would do the table read. In the table read, you're not just reading it, they want you to act it out. So I would act out my scene. After the table read, we would do a rehearsal which is like just raw to see if you could maintain the words. Then you do
Mhm.
a second rehearsal to lock it in, and the third rehearsal you would do in front of all the executives. They would all be there watching you, uh, to see how it's going. Sometime they would film it, sometime they wouldn't, and then they would do the actual filming. And by then it's muscle memory. By then you know it. But that's basically how a work day would go down on set. And
Mhm.
it could be 2 days. It depends on how long the script is. The table read and rehearsals could be split into a couple of days. In the second and third rehearsal and actual filming could be another day. It just it depends.
Was it easy for you to like memorize your lines?
Yeah, because I didn't have very many lines. It was basically screaming, and running. But I do like to read. I have a method for memorizing scripts. I memorize the first line, then I go back and I memorize the second line. Then I tag on the first line and the second line, and I memorize that, and so on and so forth. If you look at it and try to do it all at once, it makes it hard. If you go to a buffet and you try to stuff everything in your mouth at the same time, you're not going to experience the flavors and the delight of eating that food.
Uh-huh.
Scripts are the same.
I've heard that it's easier to remember the script whenever it's written well, because then you can tell, like, I'm not having any trouble memorizing this because it comes out
That's true.
naturally.
That's true. Um, I'm a writer myself, and a lot of times what you put on paper and then you speak it, it doesn't flow as well. And that's why we have table reads. And even during the rehearsals, they have the writer is there, Dan Schneider is there. And as you say something and it doesn't flow the way he has a vision of it flowing, he'll make a change and he'll say it this way. Or they'll say, start from the bottom, which is the last line, or start from the middle or the top. That's why you have to know the script because they can ask you to act it out from any part of it. And if you don't know, that's not professional. You know what I mean? You have
Mm-hmm.
to know it. And if they change it, um, they will give you time. They'll take a break. They'll give you time to incorporate the change, or they'll have someone there to feed you the line. There's always someone there on set with the script at that page you're acting out. And if you don't remember, you can say line, please, and
Mm-hmm.
they'll tell you what the line is, and then you just move on. So very organized.
What was your favorite episode that you filmed?
Um, Driving Tori crazy. Yeah,
That's
and
a really great episode. Yeah.
yeah, dumping that oatmeal was
Mhm.
a lot of fun. The look on her face, and I almost broke character. If you look
Really?
at that episode, I almost started laughing. I was like, because the look on her face was so funny. It was in the script. I've said before, maybe she didn't know. How could she not know? It was in the script. It was, and that car we was in was like a prop car. All that scenery around us was put in through editing, or as I call it, TV world. But it was crazy. It was a fun episode.
I guess you wouldn't run into it as much, but most of the cast was under 18 at the time of filming, right? So wasn't there a lot of child labor laws that they had to go and make sure that they were working with?
I like that question. We actually did a podcast on Victoria's Crazy Podcast about the teachers and how they relate to the children on the set. We thought we were calling them studio teachers, but Laura Erickson told us they're more like child welfare workers, and their job is to know all the laws about children filming. She will actually come out on set and say, "You have an hour left," before they have to quit working. She would make sure that they were protected as far as how long they work, everything to protect the child. So they did have laws. They had someone actually there to enforce the laws in the form of a teacher. She also taught them, but she also looked out for them. So it's a very it's a very serious thing. And of course, the parents are there, but they're not
Mhm.
always there. You know, after you've seen your child do this a long time, it's not as exciting. You're not going to be sitting there watching and all that kind of stuff. But you are in the green room, or you're somewhere on set in case you're needed. So
So,
yeah.
did you want to end with any advice to any upcoming actors, actresses?
Oh yeah, I like to say, keep moving. Don't be discouraged. If you take the word no and if you flip it, it's on. So don't worry about however many auditions or avails that you get that doesn't turn into a job or a booking. Just keep going. It's nothing you did. It's all about vision. It's all about you looking the part. Be prepared, know your script, be pleasant, never criticize. You could be sitting next to the writer's sister or something, and you say, "Oh, the script, uh, don't do that." Be
Mhm.
positive, be where you're supposed to be early. If you're there on time, you're late. Never complain. Just, I know I said that before, but that's so important because so many people, it's their nature. And this is it's a big business, but it's a small world. All those directors and casting people, they all know each other. Just be prepared, be pleasant, don't complain, be on time, and have fun.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Oh, you're welcome. You're
Yeah,
welcome.
thank you so
Thank you
much
for
for coming
having me.
on. Hopefully we can like stay in contact with you.
Right.
This is a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely. If you don't mind a delay when I answer DMs and
Oh,
different things,
Mhm.
yeah, it's no problem at all. Yeah.
I keep in contact with a whole lot of people. So I don't know
Yes.
how to do it, but I do. Thank you for being fans of
Thank
Victorious.
you.
Grand fans are the best fans.
So, did you want to tell everybody where they can find your podcast, all your socials?
Victoriously Crazy podcast with the little at in front. I'm on TikTok as andre.grandma77. I am on Instagram as Crazy Cool Grandma from my stand-up comedy days. Yeah, those are the three main ones. I'm on YouTube as Marilyn Harris. During the pandemic, I made a bunch of videos of me and as Andre's grandma with my husband's help. He's in some of them. They're pretty funny if you want to go check those out. And that's it. I think that's it.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
again.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Have
you.
a great day.
All
Yeah.
right, you too.
Bye.
Bye.